right, what's the scene?
We are not a mob. We are just a word. We are not a mob. We are just a word. We are not a mob. We are just a word. We are not a mob. We are just
All right, that is the scene, or was the scene on South Carolina State. Uh, there is a protest going on, active protests. That was yesterday, actually, and the issue is the potential. Uh, some information came out about. I'll tell you what. Let's play this story right here, and then we'll talk about this. I'm gonna go ahead and send out a trigger warning because I'm going to offer a different perspective than what I've been hearing, and not for the sake of just doing it. It's just because I sense and see something different here. But let's start with this. Again, we're talking about what's going on at the campus of South Carolina State University currently. And we start this off by playing this video for y'all. Go.
Well, I was at the White House today. I heard about what's happening on the campus of SC State University. Let's be clear, facts trump feelings in the real world. President Trump and conservatives have done more for HBCUs than any administration in history. I must be doing something right because woke mobs are coming after me for being a champion of eliminating radical DEI scams on college campuses. So bring it on.
A social media response from South Carolina's Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette to student protesters at South Carolina State University. Those students calling for her to be removed as their keynote graduation speaker. WIS's Lena Allen has been on campus all day gathering information from both sides.
Students using their morning to march and protest, taking their concerns about this year's commencement speaker, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette, straight to university leadership. WIS also told that University President Alexander Conyers is expected to present Evette with an honorary degree.
We have true and real concerns that need to be allocated for.
That protest turning into a silent protest inside the admin building as students waited to get answers from President Conyers.
I just want to know, why did y'all think it was a good idea to have this lady, to have Pamela Evette be the commencement speaker for graduation?
She has a story, if you will listen to it. She's a female business owner, a millionaire business owner. She has a story that none of you may not know, that I'm not fully aware. I know a lot of it. But again, a decision was discussed. I've heard your concerns, and as updates become available, we will certainly update you, okay?
Evette now speaking out in a Facebook post on her page.
Just like President Trump, I'll never back down or bend a knee to the woke radicals. I'm ending DEI on campuses once and for all. Stay tuned. I'm going to have a lot more to say about this later. In the meantime, I look forward to celebrating commencement with the students and faculty at SC State.
Students are gathering support through a petition that has nearly 3,000 signatures, calling for Evette to be replaced as speaker. They say they're motivated to push back even more as they plan more protests.
We will not stop. Bulldog tenacity. Bulldog tenacity.
Lena Allen, WIS News 10.
I don't. I hope people know what they're watching right there, right? And I'm gonna keep it real with you. The first thing that comes to mind when I listen to that is a speech by Malcolm X, where he was talking about blacks and politics. And I want you to, hey, hang in there with me this morning. I want you, because I'm going to unpack this one. This one is obvious, right? And I'm gonna point out some things that just right there should let you know when you're watching a psychological operation, right? And you got to always understand timing, right? Politics is a it's a blood sport, and it does not care who it consumes, and it's just it is what it is, okay? And so I'm gonna unpack this because this is um let me get this up here on here. Let me play this. Again, this is a show. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but I just want Malcolm X just oh my
In this
goodness.
crooked game of power politics here in America, the Negro, namely the race problem, integration, civil rights issue, are all nothing but tools used by the whites who call themselves liberals against another group of whites who call themselves conservatives, either to get into power or to retain power. Among whites here in America, the political teams are no longer divided into Democrats and Republicans. The whites who are now struggling for control of the American political throne are divided into liberal and conservative camps. The white liberals from both parties cross party lines to work together toward the same goal, and white conservatives from both parties do likewise. The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white
And I'm gonna stop that there because it started a big lag situation. But anyway, the point is here in the situation with these children on the campus of South Carolina State. Um, I think these children are being played. Okay. I'm going to unpack why this is my opinion right now. It's just there's too many political conveniences that are taking place right now. And I think um, these children are being used as political footballs. Um, the way that we've been used as political footballs in this country for a long time. Um, because I mean, anybody with a half a brain, half of a working, functioning brain, can see the play that's happening right here to these children. And let me be clear, first of all, and say that I support these children's right and ability to protest. But I also support their ability to uh, critically think and ask questions and understand what political convenience is, because right now they are the next voting bloc. So um, They are the next voting bloc, so they are the target right now. And they don't understand the political game they're being thrown in at all. At all. And I hope some of them come across this, and I hope some of them none of these parties can be trusted at this point. None. 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 But again, I want to be clear here. I do support these children. They have the right, these young people, to standing up and asking questions. But I also don't want these students to be used as political pawns by adults who understand exactly what they're doing. The first question, right, that these children need to ask, the first question that needs to be asked is this: what adult thought that this would be a good idea, right? Who sat in the room and said, hey, you know who would be a great possible commencement speaker at South Carolina State University? Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette, who was also a Republican candidate for the governor of South Carolina, who has taken positions against the DEI. You heard it in that video. Who is now using language like woke mob in response to South Carolina State HBCU. Who at the South Carolina State, which person there, that person needs to be exposed. Who thought that that was a good idea? Who is the leader at South Carolina State who said, hey, this is a good idea, let's bring this lady in, and nothing, and then now keep in mind the commencement is on the 8th, and her name was just floated out there as a possibility. Okay. What a great way to energize a base on both sides. On both sides. Who is under the false impression that these kids hate Donald Trump? Who is under the false impression that that lady said that intentionally? And these kids have no idea the game that they're being that's being played on them by both parties. Come on now. Who thought that was a good idea? South Carolina State, hey, Greg, you said they didn't read the room. Hey, bro, that's an understatement. South Carolina State, a historically black university. It sits in Orangeburg, South Carolina. This is not a political neutral ground. This is not a mystery, of which way people lean on this campus. or I mean, culturally, the political climate, all of this. So the idea that nobody anticipated backlash, I'm sorry, you ain't gonna be able to sell me that one. I was born that night, but damn sure not last night. Wasn't last night. Wasn't the night before last. So my second question would be this, right? You got to understand, guys, this is politics we playing. I play politics. I do politics. It's a dirty damn game. Dirty game. And you know what the key is? I mean, what the only thing that matter is win. Win at all costs. Politicians lie to you all the time. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna help y'all get an ambulance, and I'm gonna talk to them people. I'm gonna be up there and advocate for the people of Georgetown County District 3 and help them get an ambulance, and get over there and they invite them to the damn oyster roast over there in Paulus Island, and shit. He like Run DMC. He jumped in that Cadillac, drove off, and he never came back. So the question now becomes, who leaked this? Who on the campus of South Carolina State got a check to drop this? Because that just made that lady, the governor for the Republican side, and it's cool because they're in the primaries now. So the Republican, the woke Republicans, they gonna see this and say, "Oh no, look at all them woke students on that campus talking ignorant. Oh no, we gotta go vote. Wow, they're gonna take over the country." You know what I mean? And then on the other end, right now, after they, the kids are charged up or whatever, the first thing they're gonna do is hand them up, register to vote. You know what I mean? And subtly, nobody gets explained why they're voting. Nobody gets explained the policies. We get caught up in emotionalism, and there we go. So who leaked it? Because the reports say they were protesting the potential selection of Evette commencement speaker. While South Carolina officials said the speaker had not officially been selected, that means this controversy exploded before the university even made a formal announcement. So now the question becomes, was this a bad idea that accidentally got out, or was it floated on purpose to see the kind of reaction that it would create? I think that's kind of where I kind of lead to, right? And let's be honest here, timing in South Carolina's 2026 primary is June 9th. That's not that far away, guys. Okay? It's not that far. Like right at under 40 days, maybe 40 something days, 41 days. You do the math, but it's not that far away. And in South Carolina, right, you have to be registered to vote 30 days prior to an election. Now, I know some people are sitting there saying, why are you giving up I don't like to trick people into politics. That's the worst kind of voter to create. Is that what's going on here? Possibly, possibly not. Maybe I need to get this tinfoil across the top of my head is getting to me. I don't know. but I know what I'm looking at. I know politics when I see it. And Pamela Everett is just not just the lieutenant governor or she's not running. She's the lieutenant governor. She's the current lieutenant governor. She's also running for governor. And local report says she's holding a virtual press conference after SC State, and which is what you saw there. So you got to ask yourself if she is being floated as a potential, and it's just something that you can subtly say to somebody, "Hey, throw this firecracker in the middle of that audience there, and when it goes off, let's see how they react." So we need to ask the question without making accusations, right? Who? Let me get this on the screen. Because June 9th is right around the corner. And if you don't get them registered before, and I think if that, again, I don't like the idea of people being tricked by parlor tricks. Excuse me, politics. You know what I'm saying? Oh, not wrong one. Because the question is always follow the money too. You know what I mean? Follow that money. Who getting paid? What, when, why, and how, and who, and all that other good stuff. Another great question is, who benefits from this? Who benefits from this becoming a statewide fight? Huh? Because if it's a fight, it's going to involve two sides, right? So let's just tap into this race thing again. Because boy, listen, that is a scab that will never be able to heal because we keep scratching it. We keep pulling the scab off of it. Feel a little bit of relief. And no, get that off of there. You need that to bleed on out. Who benefits from this situation on the campus of South Carolina State? And don't be so one-sided in your thinking. Be strategic in your thinking, because you thinking, okay, this is going to rally these people. These people are going to rally also. Okay, it's two sides to it. Why else would Miss Evette do that interview that you saw in the beginning? Got to ask yourself these things. Because if the goal is to energize the students, it may do that, like I said. And if the goal is to energize conservative voters, because young conservative voters need something to energize them right now. That Charlie Kirk thing didn't turn out too well for them. It's not going as they thought it would. You know what I mean? And I guess they blame Candace Tucker and them type of people again. And so that's what the right needs right now. They got to create another anti-woke headline. So it may do all of those things. It may energize the young Democrats, and it may also energize the young Republicans. If the goal was to turn the HBCU commencement into a political battlefield, well, guess what? Mission accomplish, because this is going to, hopefully they're saying, I think they're hoping that this, takes off. And I know, again, some people were sitting there saying, man, why would you, if you think that, why would you say that? Because, again, you're not going to create a coalition of uh, knowledgeable warriors if they don't know what they're fighting for. If it's all emotional, emotions fade. They go up, they go down, they come in, they go out. But when you understand, when you know what you're fighting for, then that's something that, nobody can take from you, because these students, they may be genuinely upset, feeling their feelings may be real. Their protest may be sincere, but sincere people can still be placed on a chessboard by political adults. That's the main reason why you got to be careful with emotional movements, because young people are moved. Uh, because again, when they're moved only by emotions and not given the full education about the policy, the power, election timing, and the strategy that's being put in place on them, um, they can become once they do become aware of what's happening, and then they realize, hey, what am I fighting for? And they get to start asking that question, then they just turn away from politics because they look at it as all bullshit. And now, instead of talking about graduation, achievements, families, and legacies of South Carolina State, the whole state is talking about Pamela Evette, DEI, woke mobs, and partisan politics, which is awesome. If I can live rent free in your head and I don't have to pay advertisers for that, come on. It's a win win. So I'd be very careful. Um, I'd be very careful about this thing right here. I'd be very careful, because the timing just come on, man. I remember when 50 said 7 days before your album drop. Really a publicity stunt, right? And I don't want this to morph into something that gets somebody hurt. Because the last time the Democrats took over, and again, the Republicans ain't doing no better. So it's I don't know. I'm voting for. I'm gonna write myself in as a candidate. Can't do no worse than that, right? Oh yes, you can. Yes, you can. So I don't know how they gonna handle that over there, man. What else? I had something else on there. On that, I should say. Okay. So I just want these kids to not get played, and I don't want the Democratic Party to play them. I don't want the Republican Party to play them, and I think that's what is at play right here. I think this is a political um, chess game that somebody decided to say, you know what, let's use these kids, and that's where we are right now. Because the imagery is not good. Again, who benefits?
We are just the word. We are not a mob. We are just the word. We are not a mob. We are
don't think they're. I think they just. I beg to differ. I don't think that you're aware of how dirty the game of politics is, and it's not your fault that you're not aware of that. That's just it's the current state of where we find ourselves. But don't be nobody's political puppet. In times of trouble, you need someone who knows the law, knows the community, and knows how to fight for you. The law offices of Caesar McKnight, right here in Kingstree, South Carolina, is committed to protecting your rights and protecting your future. From criminal defense, personal injury, to family law. When the stakes are high, experience matters, and so does someone who listens. Call today and get a competent, passionate, and effective legal team on your side. Because when life hits hard, you don't have to go through it alone. The law offices of Caesar McKnight, justice for real people, serving the Kingstree and surrounding South Carolina communities. Call now or visit the website today or stop by for a free consultation.